working it on the fly because everybody's camera's a little different. And the guest star feature on Twitch is interesting, but in order to use it, you have to have Google Chrome and everyone has to have it installed in
Yeah,
order
I
to
saw
invite
that.
them over. So I was like, man, I was like, I don't know who uses Google Chrome. Like I use Edge. So I was like, oh, can't use that one. But one, I'm just going to start off and say thank you for joining this
Of
podcast and these
course.
interviews. You are number 3 on the list right now. We have Love Kit next week, but we did Sideburns. He jumped to that one on the first one, and then we did Just Super Saiyan, who's a big DVD player and prior Navy veteran as well.
Awesome.
Um, the way I kind of like to get these started off is I kind of have a pool of questions, but however the conversations go, we can kind of talk about whatever. And then after that, we'll
Yeah.
follow it up with whatever game you're wanting to play. I know I kind of talked about either like Tarkov or Fortnite or something if you want one of
Yeah,
those.
that's fine.
Um,
Yeah.
so, for those that don't know you, why don't you give them a little bit of background? So, who is XMilitaryman?
Okay. Well, I am a variety streamer and content creator. I've been streaming for just about a little over a year. I was prior Air Force, served for 8 years, got out in 2014, and basically have been a canine handler ever since 2010. So I've been doing that for a long time, and I was also a bodyguard as well for several years. And yeah, now I'm doing Twitch and full time canine handler.
So, for you, did you always want to be a canine handler when you went in?
Um, I mean, yeah, I think that was kind of the goal. I didn't know it was going to be something that I had to actually wait years to do. I thought I could kind of, obviously the recruiter, kind of told me
Yeah.
a little bit of a different story, about how quickly you can get in and that the requirement for it was going to be really easy. You just have to apply for it. It wasn't the case at all. So he lied to me, but I'm sure we all have been lied to by our recruiters.
Yeah, that's every recruiter out there, and yeah, that I know that's quite a process to be able to get to work with canines for security forces. In my current unit, we work with security forces pretty closely, and we don't
Yeah,
have any canines assigned to us. We're trying to work towards getting that. Um,
I
so,
strongly suggest it.
oh, it would be awesome. So, being a canine handler in the Air Force, because you're an explosive canine handler, are all the dogs like able to sniff out the bombs? I really don't know. Like, or do they have different types of like dogs that they use for different things for security forces?
For security forces, either drug dog or bomb dog. That's all they
Okay.
have, and what they call a dual purpose dog. So that means that they'll have a dog that can do bite work and look for bombs, or just straight up looking for bombs, or straight up looking or doing bite work. So that's it's gonna be one or the other. You know what I mean? It's never gonna be like drugs and bombs. You know what I mean? So it'll always be either or.
Okay. Yeah. See, I didn't know that. I knew they had dogs, and I was like, any dog able to do anything? Um.
Yeah.
So, becoming a streamer, right? This has kind of been on your bucket list. It's a thing that you're starting. How long ago did you start?
April 1st.
April 1st. Okay. And obviously, you've had some rapid growth here, and you got some cool sponsors. You got to be a part of the Diablo and Blizzard support a streamer campaign.
Yes.
So that
Yes,
was
that was
super
cool.
cool. So being a content creator and being a variety streamer, but what is something that you find um, can kind of be tough on a day to day basis with it?
At this point,
Yeah.
finding games to play, games that you're going to enjoy playing for a long period of time for your stream, and actually getting engaged with chat as well. Smug, how are you? Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I definitely can see that because I feel like there's not that many good games out there right now. And everyone kind of falls back to the same things, right? There's always Valorant, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. Diablo is still kind of sitting up on the charts, but
Yeah.
it obviously fluctuates and whatnot. So I know, lastly, you were playing Diablo to help out with that campaign um, and whatnot. And then, oh, sorry, I just saw Smugs. Oh, Saxy says Minecraft too. Uh, we're doing good, Smugs. Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, going back to the game. So you were playing Diablo, and then now you've kind of been bouncing around. Uh,
Mhm.
what game do you feel like is going to be next for you that's coming out?
The biggest game that's out right now that I think will be really good to play is definitely going to be Starfield. that's going to be one that I think is going to be a big game for content creators, as well as like being the first person to play it. So I think it will be something that'll be worth playing for sure.
Okay, yeah, and that's I've only looked at it a little bit. I've seen some of the gameplay. It's a Bethesda created game, right?
Yeah.
So you might get to see some stuff here at QuakeCon on it when you go
Yes.
and do
Yes.
that. But um, is that going to be a solo game or is that multiplayer as
It is
well?
a solo game. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about it. It will be just a straight up solo game. However, it should be worth the game. It should be worth the gameplay. Personally, I'm going to be playing it 100%. And obviously, since I'm going to be working QuakeCon,
Wrath is a
I
good
feel
pick.
like I should. It's going to be pretty cool to like be able to like meet some people. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
actually get to get to know the people that created it. Just because they all typically know who my dog is, they know who I am. So
yeah.
it's going to be nice to kind of actually be a part of that.
Ooh, Army's getting the shout outs right now.
Oh, oh,
Mod
nice,
going to
nice.
work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mod. Thank you, Army.
Downed him.
Yeah, you're good, Army. That's what it's there
Straight
for.
nasty, bro.
If I didn't want it, I would move it away.
That was disgusting.
Yeah, so I think
Flip it
Starfield is
in,
going to be a
ship
great
it.
game.
Yeah.
And I know when I first started watching you, you were playing the Star Wars game.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and obviously you are a huge Star Wars and Marvel fan, just by your
Yes, I
background.
am.
We can see that. So what is probably the most expensive piece that you have in your collection?
Worth the most, or the one that I spent the most on?
Worth the most?
Probably the Darth Malgus.
Where did you get that?
A junkyard.
Really?
Yes, it was a junkyard. So a guy was selling it um for, I think it was about $1,000, and it was, the arms were off, everything, like all the pieces weren't together, nothing was together, it looked really jacked up, the head was off, everything like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I could probably figure out how to put it all together. In my head, I'm thinking this is a good idea.
Yeah.
um but when I contacted him, he already had like freaking a million people hit him up for it. And so he's like, oh yeah, I already sold it already. Sold it to another guy that owns a junkyard. And that guy ended up being from California. Since I'm originally from California, me and him had like a good conversation because he put it back on the market. I
Yeah.
went out to his little junkyard thing that he had, and we, like, I brought it home, and it was a really cool piece to have. I put it back together. It really just needed certain screws, like utility screws, not even like the standard screws, like actual like screws that you have to like specifically get, like more for like those, I don't know what kind of screws they're called. They're just different. They're not the normal screws you would get. And and I was able to put it all together and piece it back together and kind of get the cape from the cape I actually purchased from one of my buddies. Went to Florida for the Star Wars Galaxy thing that you could go to, and he
Yeah.
got me the cape that I gave him $100 and something, and he bought me the cape for me for the Darth Malgus.
Okay, so you've kind of pieced it together and then got some extra
Yeah,
attachments. Well, that's kind of cool. That just finding something like that in the junkyard's pretty rare too. And it's like,
it's
man,
probably worth about 5 grand, give or
yeah,
take. I spent 500 on it.
yeah. Well, that's a killing for sure. Is what you got.
Mhm.
And so with that one being probably the most expensive, what do you feel is the most valuable to you out of your collection?
The
Which
Wolverine claws.
the Wolverine claws? Ah, why is
The
that?
Wolverine claws. I didn't even know they actually, because I look for different pieces. Like I look for rare pieces
You could
that
trade
are
it for a
out and
horse.
about, and sometimes I try to find stuff that's unique. Things that like a lot of people don't know about, like the Electra. Do you remember the Daredevil movie that came out?
Yes.
Well, they actually made replica size for that movie, but no one knew about it. And it was like one of those things that like was very limited. I actually have them. And I found them somehow. I just found them just because someone had talked about it once. And like somebody, like, I'm in a comic book group, and they talked about them one time. And after that, I searched for them, and I got them for a really good price. I think I spent like $100 on them. They're worth a couple hundred, 300, something like that.
Yeah.
And but even the claws too. I mean, trying to find the claws over again, it only came out when I think X-Men 2 came out, I think, something like that. They did these replica claws that you could wear. and I had to have it. Somebody was selling it online for $50. I thought it was just like a 3D print of them, so I was just gonna buy it for $50 anyways, just because I thought they were cool. But no, they were actually a replica thing. I looked them up on eBay. They're
Oh,
worth
that's
about
lucky too.
$200, 200 like $200 or $300, something like that, and I spent $50 on it. It's my
Man,
favorite piece.
yeah, you've gotten lucky with some of your collection pieces and
Oh
whatnot.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
super awesome.
That's how you can afford it, man. You can't
Yeah.
spend full price on anything.
No,
That's just realistically
I
you
mean,
can't.
that's the smart way to do it too. You know, go out and find out like what people are selling from junkyards or online, and do your own research. Because obviously, if they're not doing it right,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna get this good deal. Saxy
Oh
also
yeah.
said you could trade it for a horse, and she has the perfect horse to trade if you wanted.
No, nobody wants her nasty horses. Her horses are like dying all the time. She works at like an animal shelter, so she gets these horses that are like dying. They're on their way out.
Oh
Nobody
my
wants those horses.
gosh.
Can't even ride them. You can't even ride those horses,
Mm,
Saxy.
poor babies. They actually have a horse ranch here at Travis, and whatnot. And
Whatever.
Zombie, thank you for the follow as well, buddy. I appreciate it,
Zombie.
man. How's it going, buddy? We're just getting it started here. Havoc, well,
Zombie, like they're like missing legs and limbs and stuff. You don't want those horses. They're like dragging themselves across the field.
Smugs, I want her horses. At least someone wants my horses. And then Havoc, sorry, I almost missed it. I found this super. So Havoc said he found this super rare Jabba the Hutt toy for free.
Oh heck yeah!
It's in
Dude,
rough shape, but I love it.
toys. No, those toys. Hey, some of those Star Wars toys are worth some good money.
Yeah, they really are. So I have a couple pieces that aren't on display in here, just because my office is a little smaller. But I got a couple older action figures that came out when the first movie came out, and my uncle actually gave them to me. So I have them put away in a nice storage box and just not opening them, leaving them alone.
That's a good way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Yeah.
I was like, because who knows? Maybe I'm gonna run into something. I need a little bit of money down the road.
They're good investments, man. Especially
really
when you can
are.
sell them at a good at when when they're at their highest at their peak. So
Okay, it's actually they're not missing limbs, Smugs. I want all the animals. I'd love them and let them retire. Hey, that's the way to do it, Smugs.
missing eyes. I'm sorry, missing eyes, dragging themselves across the field, stuff like that.
Yeah, and Havoc.
Nobody wants them.
That's the best way to see it, man. If you got a collection piece that you love, no matter the condition, keep it.
Sorry, I had to say it. she's getting mad over there.
We'll do this, Saxy, since we hit for the interview. We'll leave him as a mod, since I let Sideburns be a mod while he was here. Yo, Lipsy, thank you for the follow. How's it going, Lipsy?
Thank you, Lipsy. Thank you for coming in and visiting, Lipsy. Thank you so much.
You know, she's actually on my list to talk to. I need to, Lipsy. I'm gonna message you here in a few when this is over, because I wanted to talk to you about getting you on here too.
I have some Funkos too. I have a few Funkos, not a lot, but I have a few. My buddy Luke is giving me Funkos.
Oh, Funkos are cool, little pops. Okay, so continuing this, so you got this collection going. Have you ever thought about being a part of like the Mandalorian Mercs or the
yes.
What is the clone trooper organization?
The 401st or the 501st?
501st, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've thought about it a couple times. I think it's one of those things that, you have to have the right pieces. It's hard to get in. They're very, very critical of the things that you do. And then on top of that, just purchasing all that stuff is going to cost you at least like $3,000. And that's like maybe one day, if I get enough money to do that, like on stream or something, that might be something to do. But it'll have to be like a 2-month goal or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. Well, it would have to be something like, because I would wear it on stream and stuff. It would be like a redemption or something. I don't know. We'd figure something out, but I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Well, if you're ever in the market for it, I know a guy that makes the Mandalorian armor. He's actually one of my friend's dads, and back when I was in high school, I wasn't a part of the group he was, but he helped us make our own armor as well.
I said 401st. I said 501st. I said 501st.
He got it right in the end. He got it right.
My brain is not always there. You know what I mean? Things are distracting sometimes. People are distracting.
Especially Saxy.
Yeah, especially her.
But yeah, so if you're ever wanting to chat with that or get your own custom armor made, He's pretty good at it.
Thank you, Havoc.
Havoc, I'm only
Yeah, definitely.
explaining.
I might do it. I'm supposed to get a free piece of armor from Nope, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Ooh, yeah, that would be
Yeah,
sick.
yeah, yeah.
Getting back on track here a little bit more, right? So, starting out with your stream, because that's really what we're here to talk about, is you as a content creator. What were some of the first games that you dove into, and that you wanted to be known for back when you started?
Call of Duty. It was 100% Call of Duty. I was 100% invested in that. The previous one, not the recent one, the previous one. Um, I literally, I was a pretty good player. I think I wasn't I wasn't the best, but I was pretty decent.
Yeah,
And I think it was just kind of nice being able to be kind of recognized because I would play with people. I don't know if you're familiar with Dad the Gamer.
I have not. No.
He used to host tournaments every month or
Okay.
every other week or something like that. And what would end up happening is me and the team I had, we would just sweep everybody. We'd have a full entire Rebirth Island full of people, and we would sweep every single team that was in there, and we'd win and we'd all get shout out
Yeah.
to the end. So like, I was known for that because we would just destroy everybody. It was really fun. I mean, I love crapping all over kids. It was great. But I mean, like
Yeah.
after that, we just kind of stopped. I started changing how I looked at content creation. I was very dumb when I first started. So, that was in those early days,
Yeah. Everyone has to start out somewhere, and I mean, you took the steps to start, and I mean, it's gotten you to this point that you are now. So playing that Call of Duty, were you mostly focused on like the battle royale aspect, or were you more into like the team of like search and destroy domination style gameplay?
Battle Royale,
Battle
100%.
royale. Okay.
Yeah, I prefer Battle Royale.
Yeah.
There was really nothing else I played.
And being a few years ago, that was probably one of the more popular genres,
Yeah,
just because everything was coming online between PUBG and Fortnite. So a lot of other game developers like Apex and all, like, well, Apex came out and they were starting to follow suit with that. So what made you change your game or how you saw your stream?
um, I think starting to watch other content creators and how they started doing things. I don't know, you start to piece things together. You start to figure out that like something's not working. You know what I mean? I went to TwitchCon too, and I started realizing how I wanted to sit there and change things. And Lee, how you doing, buddy?
Hey Lee, how's it
Um,
going?
I wanted to change things a bit, and I started to like see what other people were doing. You start to pay attention to those things, and I think it was just I started realizing that like chat was kind of the priority, and
Yeah,
that was kind of where it started going, not my gameplay. I thought people were always there for my gameplay, which really wasn't like anything to really like. It was good. It just wasn't where I've seen other people do like a million times better than me, and I'm like thinking,
yeah.
I think everybody just tends to replicate what all the bigger streamers are doing, and that's kind of what I was doing, and it just was not working.
Yeah, and oh Lee, thanks for coming in, man. We appreciate you being here.
You love
That
my gameplay.
Yeah, Sexy says doesn't watch it. Um, I think it is kind of tough, figuring out what kind of content creator you want to be too. And I do agree that chat is the most important aspect, right? Because as a content creator, it's not the goal of what do I want to do. It's what do I want people to see me as, or what do I want to give the people.
Yeah,
So being able to focus on them and say, hey, how's it going? Check on people, and somebody else pops back in your chat and they brought up, hey, I was getting married last week, and you bring that conversation back up to them. Hey, how was your wedding or whatever?
yeah,
Just showing that personal aspect is great. Like you can be as good as you want at a game. And me and just Super Saiyan talked about this on Friday, but there are pros out there that aren't streaming material because not everyone can be a streamer. It's a matter of how can you be relatable, and how is your personality going to reach the people. Um, which I got to say, watching you for the time that I have, like I think you're awesome with your chat. Um,
thank you.
you're probably well, it's not you're probably you're definitely in like my top 5 streamers right now
Thank
that
you,
I
man. I
like watching.
appreciate that.
So
Thank you so much.
it's cool
I mean,
having you on.
thank you, buddy. Sorry, I'm like talking to chat too.
No, you're
I should
good.
probably.
Yeah, I see. It's literally the main reason I follow Millie, right? So I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons I watch him too. Like I found him through Regiment, and that's what pointed me in that direction. So it's pretty cool there. Havoc, I don't give a fuck what game he plays. I'm not there for it. They're
Thank
just a
you,
chat to
Lee.
Millie.
Thank you, Abby. I
Yeah,
appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
man, he's
Right, you
okay.
love me. Shut
Fucking
up. You know
grim.
you love me. Liar.
Um, so during your time of being a content creator, I feel like you've probably got some of the most rapid growth that I've seen folks doing this. What were like the three hardest things that you ran into?
Time management was probably my biggest one. I wasn't sleeping. I almost died halfway through streaming too.
Really?
Um, yeah, so I have a hard time with going to sleep sometimes,
Yeah.
and but I also don't like being like not hyper. So what I was doing is I was drinking about 5 energy drinks a day, 5 Red Bulls a day.
Oh man.
Not the non-sugar ones. I'm talking about
Yeah.
just like I was drinking about 5 Red Bulls a day, probably about 4 or 5 sodas a day. On top of that, eating candy while on stream just to keep myself like amped up because like the way I played really reflected on how tired I was. So if I had like a ton like sugar rush after sugar rush after sugar rush, I played like a freaking like monster. Like it was
Yeah, like
very
a bat out
rare
of
when I
hell.
got like it was very rare when I lost on Rebirth. It rarely happened. Because I was always so amped up. But then when June hit, I started to feel sick. And I didn't really know why. I got rushed to the hospital because like I remember I was like really disoriented. I couldn't see anymore. Like I started like actually feeling like I don't know something was happening to me. I
Yeah.
went to the hospital. Um, they checked my blood sugar levels. My blood sugar levels at 600, which the average like even a high is like supposed to be 200 at like
Yeah,
at
that's
the highest.
insane.
Like and so anyway, so I that's kind of where streamer diet came from. It was like a thing that I said like afterwards, like to make it
Okay.
light of the joke. Streamer diet is kind of where that stemmed from because like 3 days later I started streaming again. Yeah, like after all this. And so yeah, I like I've lost a lot of weight. Obviously, you guys could probably tell from the beginning clips and stuff to now. But I mean, I started taking care of myself a lot better. Like I said, they told me if I had waited like a couple more days, I would have died from a diabetic coma, basically. And so they had to shoot me with tons of insulin, like normal, like way more than normal. And luckily, what was nice about it is that they told me I was a pre-diabetic, which means I wasn't a full diabetic. It was just
Yeah.
pre. And then now I'm not even considered a diabetic anymore, just because of how differently I eat now and how I take care of myself now. That I'm not even my body regulates itself. I chose not to do the insulin and I chose not to do on metformin. I chose just to eat better,
Yeah.
and my body started regulating my sugars normally, so it went back to normal. They thought it was going to be an issue, but it wasn't. So I did get really lucky. I did get really lucky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's definitely luck out there for sure. And but it's good that you started taking care of yourself on that too.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, you got a little piece of merch out of it too, and that
It was good. It was
because
good.
that's actually the shirt that I got is the streamer die shirt, and I was like,
That's
oh,
the one, man.
he's just a dedicated streamer. That's what I was thinking. I didn't know there was a whole I almost died story actually behind it. That's insane.
Hashtag blame Grim, by the way. That was Grim's fault.
Blame Grim. Ah, god damn it, Grim. Starting shit. Yeah, that is one thing I do like with your community too, is that you start to um intertwine them into the things that you have. So I've noticed that you got a lot of different like grim things here. You have a couple sideburns things, and then the games that you choose to play, you also loop that in. So being that with your time management and how busy your job can be, how does that kind of push back onto the family side of things for you?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm going through a divorce, so
Okay,
that's there's that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So yeah, no, I mean it's not that has nothing to do with the streaming though. Obviously, it doesn't help, but I mean that has nothing to do with it. But I mean, like obviously, like time management is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Spending time with my kids is probably the priority right now in general. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's either that because obviously with inflation, everything else, you have to work more. You
yeah,
have
you
to do
do.
a lot more to keep up with what's going on right now. We're in a single income home. So right now it's one of those things where I could either travel and work out of state for months or weeks at a time, or I can be at home doing this, trying to, navigate that and try to make sure that I can be home as often as I can for my kids. instead of traveling. I mean, it's really a double-edged sword because I could either focus on this and try to do more for my kids, or I can sit there and again on the other side of it, I can sit there and do traveling and leave all the time and be gone in New York and all that stuff and just work like that and work myself to death. You know what I mean? That's just
Yeah,
it's either
you
or. So
stay
I mean,
busy.
this is a nice to me. I feel like this is the happy medium doing streaming, and that's basically why I do it. I do it for my kids. So
That's awesome. No, that's. Do they ever actually pull you up on stream and like watch you while you're live,
um
or?
probably honestly, because some of the games I play are probably a little bit more mature,
Yeah,
and so obviously probably like unless we were playing something that was not maybe Starfield probably. I mean, I could see games like that if it wasn't too mature. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, they just some of the stuff can be kind of R rated.
yeah. You can get yourself going on a Minecraft server with them or whatever. One
Yeah,
do some of
yeah,
that stuff. Make some
yeah. That's
content with
true.
them. No, but I definitely feel the divorce thing. So I went through mine, and I'm actually working on the custody right now for my son. So that's something that
Yeah,
I'm doing, and it takes a toll on it. So off stream, if you ever do need to talk, I'm there, man.
I
Like
appreciate that. Thank you.
100% because I can
I'm
definitely relate
happy.
to it.
I'm happy. Yeah, no, I'm definitely happy, and it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad thing. So it's definitely just we just got to push forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's just the way it is.
yeah. Don't look at the past and keep going and live in the moment when you can. Uh, Custody is why I started streaming. Yeah, it can definitely do. It keeps you distracted. Game is a great way to connect with others and find
I
people
agree.
you can talk to.
I completely agree.
He says they suck, whether
They
they
do.
in
They do
good
suck.
or yeah, it is stressful. So, but you got an awesome community supporting you and keeping you up even on your down days if you had to.
I agree. I agree.
Um, Depressing, right? So Starfield is what you're going to be looking to play when it comes out here in September.
Yeah.
In the meantime, are you going to have any plans to continue playing Diablo, or are you going to maybe jump over to Tarkov once it wipes?
I'm definitely going to jump over Tarkov once it wipes. That's where I got a lot of my best content, and I'm playing a lot differently. It was nice taking a step away from it for, because that was my first time ever doing mouse and keyboard. So my first time ever doing mouse and keyboard was Tarkov,
Oh,
and
you
that
got
was
some
very
balls.
challenging. Oh, but I didn't do
Yeah.
bad. I didn't do bad. I think I was a probably above average player on Tarkov, and so it helped me learn how to play. I don't know why I prefer playing Tarkov on mouse and keyboard. To me, it just made a lot of sense. um I don't know, it transitioned well, but when I go to like Call of Duty, it does not translate well in my head.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't know why, it just doesn't. It's a whole different type of game, and I can't play mouse and keyboard on Call of Duty for some reason. It just does not make any sense to me. Tarkov is easy on mouse and keyboard, but Call of Duty, the controller makes the most sense to me.
So you
But
use
that's just me
controller
personally.
for COD then when you're
I
playing on
do.
the
I
computer?
do. Oh
What
yeah,
what
you
what else
should
do you use
ask.
controller for?
You should ask. Oh my gosh, Heisky,
Okay.
Heisky 6. He challenged me to. He challenged me to a 1v1 and got wrecked after me after being out off of Call of Duty for like 6 months since it
Oh
came
my
out.
gosh.
He got wrecked. It's like, I don't think you realize how good I was. I hadn't played in so long, too. And it was so good to kind of come back and do that. It was funny.
So with your controller then, so COD obviously was one. Do you use controller on Fortnite too?
No, actually, I was able to transition from COD to Fortnite,
Okay.
or from mouse and keyboard to Fortnite. I'm still not like, it's still not normal for me because I don't like I don't know if it's just the aiming radical or something. I don't know if it's just something about the way there's like a slight, for some reason I'm not accurate with it. Like I'm accurate
Yeah.
on Tarkov. Like when we played, I was freaking destroying like everything. Like I was doing
Yeah.
really well. And that one guy would have died had I thought, because I thought that was you.
Yeah.
That one guy would have been dead because I was hitting all my shots. It was like perfectly hitting all my shots. So honestly, I I don't know what it is about Fortnite. Just if you're slightly off, or if like you're not like, because I don't see the little crosshair very well. I don't know how to. I might have to figure out how to fix that. I don't know if there's a way to make it like larger, but like it's so weird to me, the crosshair that they have for it. I don't like,
Yeah.
personally. It's just not It's
I
not my
think it's his
glasses.
glasses. Yeah. Well, that's why you can just tell him to take them off, right? Use your challenge points,
Yeah,
battle points.
see? Yeah, there we go.
No, I definitely feel like because transitioning between other shooters, um, Zombie says there is a setting to change that in Fortnite. Yeah, so
Oh, there is zombie.
so
You
trying
might
to
have to
figure
show
out
me.
the most settings that work for you is the best. So like going from Valorant, Fortnite, Overwatch, Tarkov, it's super crazy, especially for folks that love first person shooters. Um,
Right.
but that's interesting that you use controller on COD.
I don't think
Um,
I could do it. I can't do it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
no, that's fair. You're ingrained into it, and you got some skill behind it, so keep rocking it.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun.
Uh,
Gr- Grim got to watch it. He's next too.
oh, coming for that smoke. Um, so going back to Tarkov, then, what are some of the things in the game that you like and you don't like?
The cheating I don't like.
Oh yeah,
The
big
way
one.
they handle cheating and cheaters, I'm not a fan of at all. Um, and I also don't like how I love challenging people. I love challenging people. I like to go up against people. I like to do the 1v1. I'm way more of a aggressive player,
Yeah,
and on Tarkov, it's necessary. The one thing that I do think is a fault of mine is because I'm so aggressive, I become a little too confident. And the things that are like my weakness are the people that are just hiding in a bush for literally like 20 minutes
yeah,
in the same spot, waiting and waiting and waiting. And then you get killed by them. And it's like, you're done. You know, that's probably my biggest weakness in terms of like
okay.
with that. But I mean, as long as I have like a really good team with me, normally we do a pretty good job, and normally like we get our stuff back, you know. But it's definitely outside of that, Tarkov is almost pretty perfect. There was a little issue with sound sometimes. There was a little issue like here and there.
Yeah,
There was
they've had
always,
some
and
issues with that.
they've cleaned up a lot of it. I will say it gets a little boring, you know, sometimes towards the end it started getting a little boring for me. But I have a feeling this next wipe will be really good because I am gonna, you know, utilize that and try to play when the next wipe comes.
You gonna go for Kappa?
No,
No, you're just gonna
no.
are you gonna do quests or just go have fun and kill?
Probably do quests just obviously to unlock crap. You know, I want to unlock at least, you know, I want to unlock the stuff that you can get for all that because there's certain things, certain ammo you can unlock, certain
Yeah,
uh guns you can unlock, certain parts you need to unlock. I don't have a problem with doing the quests up to a certain point, but after like you get to like level 30, it's like you don't really have much else to do. It starts to slow down a little bit, and then I become disinterested.
yeah. I'm curious to see how the game goes because, um, obviously this last wipe was kind of what screwed up the audio, and it did get to the point that you could be on interchange, which is the map. That's a
Oh
mall.
yeah.
For those that don't play Tarkov, and it's three stories, and you could be in the middle story and hear guys down in the garage below, which was a big issue. I realistically you wouldn't hear that, but gunplay, it is probably the best game out there. I definitely agree with that. There's no other games like it
No.
except Stalker, but Stalker's super old and it's a solo game that has like Tarkov mechanics.
Oh,
Um,
okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, they're working on a second one, but that's not going to come out till like next year. But with that, no, that'll be interesting to see. Definitely going to have to run some games with you on there. We'll probably run some tonight after this for sure. Get you warmed up. But
Yeah.
um, with this all happening and whatnot, and how your content is going, where are you wanting your channel and your content to be within like the next 3 to 5 years? Where are you hoping to be?
Um, I'm testing some stuff out. So what I do now as a content creator, I test things out to see what works and what doesn't work. So this month, as you can see, it's a whole different thing that I'm doing this month. I'm doing a lot of interviews, a lot of different things.
Yeah,
This is part of learning how to change how you think because part of, you know, again, part of doing this is learning to do something different that no one else is doing. So me doing all these different things this month, working with the partner streamer this month, doing, you know, just collaborating in general. I'm hitting it really heavy this month, and then next month we're going to resume normal. I'm testing to see what's working and what's not, and seeing where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are. And
Okay.
I think it's just kind of like I'm always just seeing what statistically is going to work the best for this time. Because even if I do it all perfect, it's only going to work that way for so long. And then you've got to figure out what the next
Yeah,
thing is.
content will start to get old, and you gotta kind of.
So it's definitely just trying to plug and play and figure out what to do next. Is it's I'm always trying to think of new ideas.
Okay. So, are you hoping to reach partner within the next 3 to 5, or?
I would love to meet. I mean, that's the goal. I wanted to reach it my first year, but it wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? I totally overshot on that a little bit. But I think with TwitchCon coming up in October, which I plan on attending, and I know kind of the idea of what route I want to go with that, in terms of like what my game plan is. But I mean, like, it really just depends. It really just
Oh,
depends.
Toga,
We'll
thank you,
see.
man. Thank you for the gifted, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Toga. That's nice of you.
Anya getting
But
it.
yeah, no, I mean that's the goal. That's the goal right now. We're gonna figure it
Okay.
out. I'm gonna try to hit partner. We'll see what happens. I mean, it would be nice to get to that point. My growth is still really good. I'm not like I don't struggle with following. I don't struggle with anything like that. I think really I'm just trying to figure out ways to see how I can maximize growth, but also trying to help everybody else out at the same time. I need to do a game giveaway. I got to talk to Sparkle about that too as well. There's things I'm trying to do this month that I've got to start taking care of, and I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I know one thing you other do that you like to do in your channel as well is you will review other people's pages and give them your feedback. What made you want to start doing that?
You mean like getting feedback from people in
No,
general?
you give feedback to others. So like they'll come in your stream and they'll be like, "Hey, can you check out my stream?" So you were doing that for a while,
Yeah.
and they'll pull up their page. You'll pull up their page and go through it and be like, "Hey, you need to do this, this, and this." Um,
So, so I agree with you, Lipsy. There is a lot to learn a year, and honestly, if I probably would have known what I've known now, right when I started streaming, I probably would have. I think I could have been a lot closer to that goal. That that goal. But at this point, um, I don't know. I felt like that information it clicked for me really early, and guys that were streaming for a long time or guys that just started streaming, I was just trying to give them a shortcut, to give them a shortcut to getting their goal. I'm not threatened by anybody. There's no one
yeah,
I'm threatened by in terms of streaming. That's one thing that about me that you'll know. Anybody that's gone into my stream that talks about content creation, I've never been threatened by anybody. I'm not threatened by Cyburns. I'm not threatened by Lipsy. I'm not threatened by Havoc. I'm not threatened by Saxy. I'm not threatened by Grim. I'm not threatened by anybody because I'm my own person. And if people want to leave me to go watch somebody else, it doesn't bother me. I mean, like I'm okay with that. That's part of streaming. Yeah,
I threaten
yeah,
you.
she does. But you know what I'm saying though? Like I'm not threatened by anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People are gonna leave and people are gonna come back. You know what I mean? The thing is, one thing I always tell people is all I have to do is outlast you.
yeah,
The rate in terms of what people actually, how long we actually stream for. I know myself, and I know I'm not gonna stop. So for a person that just gets on stream, and streams for 2 months and realizes how difficult it is and that it's not going to be easy, they're coming in and asking me for help. I'm not worried about them because they don't realize the gravity of how much work you have to put into this. It's
yeah,
not just turn on the live button, you know what I mean? And then automatically you get all these followers. It's not
yeah.
how it works. So I just have to outlast you. That's it. I mean, I know it's a harsh thing to say, but
It's the
I
reality
just
of
have
it,
to
though.
outlast you.
It's
You know
it's
what I mean?
it's
And
just like the New Year's resolution people have. They'll show up to the gym and they'll be there for 2 months, and then they'll realize that it's a hard work and they'll give up. So it's like if you're trying to be a content creator and that's what you're aiming for, yeah, you got to put in that work.
yeah,
Um, so like you said, it's not just pushing that go live button, right? There's other aspects to it, and that's promoting yourself and communicating with others and networking. Um, what is probably the hardest platform for you that you feel is hard to grow on? So there's like TikTok, Twitter, or like YouTube.
probably YouTube because YouTube. YouTube has like long form content that, like, if you can put out some really good stuff, you can grow really well. But it is definitely a lot harder to get followers and viewers on that platform than I think any other platform personally.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I think every platform has its own um struggles, I should say, because it's hard to grow in general. It's just not an easy thing to do. It really just comes down to the amount of work you put into it. So if you're able to post in multiple platforms, you're able to stay current with everything. Even this month, I took a break. I needed to take a mental break from posting just videos in general. So this whole month, I haven't posted anything. But I'm still growing, so it doesn't really matter. Like
Yeah,
it's
and
still,
content's still there.
it's still there. So I mean, um, like I said, it just every platform has its own struggles, I should say.
Yeah, no, that's so what it for YouTube is hard for you. Is it the just trying to figure out the algorithm with where you want to be, or is it just the instead of posting the YouTube shorts or posting the videos, like what about that is kind of the struggle for you?
I honestly, with YouTube, YouTube's informal. People will go to YouTube mostly for checking, hearing people talk about something
Yeah.
important. Most of the stuff with streaming, TikTok's the platform for streaming. Realistically, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Um, with YouTube, it's all that evergreen content that you could put out that I think is relevant is always going to be something that people want to learn or people want to like. Gameplay is so difficult to grow off of, unless you're doing something absolutely magnificent. So for me, YouTube is just more of a struggle in terms of like, I'm not ready to put out content yet of walkthroughs and how to get this, a specific character tree to go up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing all that, which is what YouTube requires from me, if that makes sense. So I'm not at that point yet, which maybe at one point when I'm ready to start doing that, I will. But there's so many things. I have so many things going on all at once. I just don't have time for it with between my work, streaming, kids, all that. It's like there's like 50 million things going on all at once, and I'm trying to sit there and still grow that. So
Okay.
it's a lot. There's a lot going on. It's not easy.
Yeah, it just kind of falls back on everything that else for that time management piece and trying to
Yeah.
figure that out. So, have you ever considered during your time of being a creator, um, moving away from Twitch and maybe doing YouTube Live or going over to Kick or even Facebook?
Um, Well, for one, Facebook I would never stream to Facebook. I do plan on doing TikTok, maybe going live on TikTok, just because that one,
Facebook is dead.
yeah, Facebook is dead. Um, YouTube is not, unfortunately, it's not streamer user friendly. You know what I mean? It's not there. The
Yeah, I
second they
agree.
make it more like Twitch, I would probably be more willing to do it. But even then, it's still not where it needs to be unless you're already established. And I'm not
Yeah.
established yet. I'm not, even with my following, I don't consider that established. You need to really, really have a huge following before you can move into a bigger platform like that. And and yeah, exactly. They focus on non-live content. That's why I'm
Yeah,
not
that's true.
interested until, like, unless I'm Dr. Disrespect, he can get away with doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he has a huge he could stream the worst game ever made and he'll still have thousands of viewers in there. You know what I mean?
that is
A
very true
game that
because he's
no one's ever
established.
heard
Yeah.
of. Yeah, and he can do it. But that's, for me, I'm not at that level, and so I would never go to YouTube Live before I even sit there and get to that point. So yeah, I mean, it just comes down to that. I mean, even just with with Kick too. It's just, to me, Kick's the same thing. You mean, like, if I feel like everybody that goes to Kick is either really really big content creator, and of course it comes down to money. They're going to want to get paid the maximum route, 95.5%. Obviously that's their goal. But again, they have that established following. They're able to do
Yep.
it. The problem I have is all the smaller streamers that are trying to go and do the same thing that they're doing, and they'll wade the water for a bit and they start to realize this is just as hard as Twitch was. It might be good in the beginning and really flashy in the beginning. And there might be that one person that comes into their stream and donates 100 subs, and they get that euphoric feeling of getting the subs that
Yeah.
they never got before. But then what about the following month? If they're still boring, if their content's still bad, and their stuff isn't put together well, they're gonna struggle the same way they struggled on Twitch. The guy with 2 viewers per month, one being himself, isn't gonna do better on Kick just because he's on Kick. You know what I mean? He's gonna struggle still. You know what I mean? Like the whole concept of people thinking that they're gonna do better on another platform and they're not growing because of luck is absolutely asinine. People
That's true.
people don't understand that, like kind of like what I talked to you about when we first talked. You know, all this stuff matters. You know, all the little things that you do matter. You can't just get away with just sitting there not adding more panel, you know, doing better with your pan, like not adding, or I should say upgrading your panels, not upgrading all your stuff, not like trying to make your stuff look better. You're not going to get away with it, not for very long. And you're going to be stuck like all the other guys that have been doing it for 5-6 years that are kind of just, you know, in a hamster wheel. You know what I mean? Like it's way more than that. It's way more than that. You know, Kari.
Calling him out right now.
Well, the thing is, like, you can't expect to sit there and have people follow, and then and even just
No,
not
thank you for the
being
follow.
consistent. You know, you have to be consistent with your streams. You have, like, people don't even want to be consistent. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to be consistent. No one wants to sit there and put the time in. You know, they'll do it for 2 months and again realize it's too hard and then give up. And then on their
Yeah, no, they
birthday, they'll
will.
show up. They'll show up on their birthday and be like, "Oh, you know, it's my birthday today. Everybody donate to me." It's like, and then get upset because they didn't, you know, nobody
Yeah,
showed
no
up
one
for
showed
their
up.
birthday.
Yeah.
It's like it's ridiculous. That I've seen guys that have been gone for literally like four months, like, and like on Twitter announce, "Oh, for my birthday I'm gonna stream," and it's like, yeah, dude, you know what I mean? Like, you're not getting crap for your birthday. I'm not gonna sit there and go to your birthday. You know, like, you're not, you know what I mean? You haven't even been consistently streaming for at least a couple months straight, and you're gonna start streaming on your birthday because you know you're gonna get, you know, people might actually raid you and you might get some subs for your birthday. It's like, give me a break, dude. Like, I don't know, people do that crap all the time.
Yeah, you'd be better off just going out in the real world and going to hang out with your friends and family that are there instead of just hoping that happens. But
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Lipsy said, so I am constantly updating things. A new channel
Yep.
redeems and commands at least every week, and I can agree to disagree with that one a little bit. So I think it is I think it is pertinent to change things up and add those new things in there. But
You
the
know,
whole every week thing, I was like, yeah, maybe
yeah.
that's a little too much. But I also feel streaming is a fake it till you make it, right? So you want to play the part, you want to look the part. You're going to be more challenge. You're going to be able to be more if you have that camera, if you have the panels. But you also, like you said, you need to be able to provide that content. You need to pay attention to chat, and you got to be likable. Like that's one of the biggest things. If you're not likable, people aren't going to like you, unless you're just really good, like Tyler One. Like he's an asshole on stream, but everyone likes watching him because he's one of the best League of Legends players out there.
Yeah.
And that's just a rare case, right? Um, and then yeah, sorry, you
Yeah,
guys are
and
talking a bit here.
no, Lipsy's right about that though. The engagement. So the reason why, and I'm not at that level yet where she can just or I could just constantly get good ideas to sit there and change my stuff. And she's right though. I mean, honestly, the engagement's everything. Like, something about the emote that I posted with sideburns, the no
Oh yeah,
sideburns emote.
it's gone
Just
huge.
even coming up with that was a brilliant idea because the amount of engagement it's gotten in 3 days, it had over 2,500 uses in
Damn,
3 days. Had 2,500 uses, and it was like it was my most used emote, probably more for like in an entire month. It was already at the highest amount used. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
but like,
insane.
that's the things that you have to think of, and you know, even just coming together with the content creators, and trying to sit there and, you know, with even with me and Sideburns, I mean, you know, we come up with ways to sit there and troll each other, but we're also discussing it as well. I
Yeah,
mean, there is play behind it that a lot of people don't get to see. You know, you know, he considered me as one of his best friends, so it's like, you know, he doesn't hate me. You know, we just troll each other all the time because it's funny. But like, it gets everybody going, gets everybody engaged. We all troll each other, and it makes it more fun. Like even with the hashtag Blame Grim, you know what I mean? Like, it's all just for fun. You know what I mean? It's all
yeah, it's a little bit of
people.
drama, right? And it's
Yeah, and
not
it's
like
fun.
yeah, it's fun. It's just playing with friends and messing around and making sure nobody's really getting hurt. And if someone doesn't like your content or whatever, they can hey, there's the door. It's the internet. You can click the tab off and go somewhere else because leaning back on that, you just gotta outlast everybody and keep growing.
And Lipsy's right. That's the stuff that nobody wants to do. I have meetings every week about doing stuff like this. So like
Yeah.
every week I'm always talking to somebody, or I'm discussing things with like I'll discuss things with Lipsy, like me, Lipsy, and Sai went in a meeting one time and we're talking about crap. I mean, like we had a whole meeting about just kind of talking about like just kind of running ideas, just like me and Sideburns would go into a meeting. We'll have a meeting about making a calendar, like only dad's
Yeah.
calendar or something like that.
Hey, there you go.
Only fanatics calendar type deal. You know what I mean? Where we're gonna dress up like half naked, wearing my helmet or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that, but that's the kind of stuff that like but these are just things that we're throwing out there, just kind of getting things together. I mean,
Yeah.
and just kind of talking about the future. It doesn't necessarily need to be right away, but at least just kind of getting those ideas going.
Yeah, you're
Like sometimes
brainstorming.
she'll say something and I'll be like, oh, that's actually not a bad idea. I think I have an idea, a different way of doing it for myself and kind of emulating it. And that's kind of like, I think it's just that's part of how you do this, is having a good community of people. Doing this by yourself, you can do it by yourself. It is very possible to do things by yourself. However, it makes it a lot easier if you have the support, the team, the people you have that'll sit there and bring you to the next level. That's why I have an actual team of people that help me get through everything. So, like I said, it's this is like part of that. Like I said, talking to Lipsy, talking to Sideburn, all those people, we have our own conversations I'll have and just like brainstorm. It's
Yeah.
brainstorming. We all, even for like 1 month, I even told her, I said, look, for literally for a 3 month period, we were averaging 100 followers. All three of us were averaging 100 followers a month easily. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm telling her this, I'm like, we're doing something right, even though we're all drastically different, like in our own way of doing things. Like Sideburns is obviously like off the wall crazy. She
A
trolls her
little bit.
community. She makes it, her community is more, she's more community driven. She likes to troll her people and stuff. She makes it more fun for them. And then on top of that, I have my own way of creating engagement with trolling with Grim, with trolling with Sideburns, with talking about stream, going,
Yeah.
helping out with stream stuff. We all have our own way of doing things, and or even just with the whole 22 thing, singing 22, all that fun stuff. We all have our own ways of like getting engagement with our followers that we all do all separately. So anything that we're doing, if you can articulate it and you can explain to me why it's a good way of doing it, and it's working, then I'll listen to what you have to say. So that's where the respect comes. That's why she respects me enough to where she tabs me every single day. That's why she's tabbed up right now. Like she's not even on right now, but she's tabbed up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain amount of respect that comes with the information given, and that's where we both see each other as equals in that sense. So that's where I know. She's like your tabs too, sir. Um,
But
but yeah, no, that
do you feel it's important then? So like working with this team and whatnot, um, I can definitely see how it is working for you guys, especially with the growth that you guys are currently at. But coming for smaller streamers, do you think that's something that someone with 100, 200, maybe 300 followers should be looking to do, or do you think they should kind of fall back on like the follow for follow and just
no,
try to
no, no,
join
no.
whatever stream or whatever stream team they can?
I didn't do follow for follow, and I didn't do stream team. I did do it for a short time, but I left it almost immediately, because I was on the stream team for Regiment. I was on there for a few months, and I left. You know what I mean? Because I realized that they weren't. I loved Regiment, but they weren't seeing me as an individual, and that was a
Yeah.
problem for me. I wanted them, like recently. Now Chris calls me up. I want you to be on the USAA commercial. I don't know if you guys saw. I was on a USAA commercial. Now he wants me isolated incidents where he wants me, hey, we're going to do an EVA tournament. Can you sit there and commentate as an individual? Can you just do the stream thing on Regiment channel and we'll feature you for that day? I had 70 people in there wanting to talk to me, and we were engaging with them.
Yeah.
I mean, both times I did it. So them recognizing me as an individual, them coming and talking to me and being like, hey, we're talking about possibly sponsoring you as well. Like Oakley came to me and was like, hey, I'm trying to figure out a way to get BP Paradox to get you a computer. Stuff like that is like things that are in the works that like, we're discussing it, but it's still not really 100% there yet. So it's definitely, we're definitely, a lot's changed since I first started streaming, but being a part of the stream team didn't help me in that sense. And it doesn't help a lot of the guys that are in the stream team right now.
That's
I mean,
true.
and
Yeah.
a lot of them were all streaming before me, and now I have triple their followers.
Yeah.
So what does that kind of tell you? You know what I mean? Like that says a lot. You know what I mean? Nothing against them. I love them all. You know what I mean? But you do have to isolate yourself as a streamer. You like, yes, it's great to be part of Regiment, and I love Regiment for all the help it does. But also, if you're a streamer, you have to be separate from the entity that you're in. You know what I mean? Because you want to be noticed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it is important to be noticed in
it
this
is.
career field.
Because even with Regiment, right, like their priority is not stream team, right? That's just
No,
one of
it's
the
not.
subcategories that they have as a military veteran organization.
Correct.
So yeah, it's something nice. And yes, Lipsy, you are right. Follow is against TOS, but it is something that happens on Twitch quite often, right? So a lot of smaller streamers, they don't know where to start because they don't have those friends that are doing, unless they already do have someone that tells them, hey, don't do that. But it is something that you will see a lot of people trying to do early on just to kind of get some type of followership.
So my biggest suggestion, honestly, and this is just with me, getting those things done early, you know, getting your page taken care of, because a lot of times these small streamers will sit there and they'll figure out how to put it. I say this a lot, and a lot of these guys probably hear me repeat the same things over and over and over again. Um, but a lot of guys figure out how to put a donation button, but they can't figure out how to put up panels up.
Yep.
You know, Canva is really easy to use. I mean, like it, you know what I mean? Like you could make all the things that you need to make. Get that stuff started first. Like if I just see a donation page, I don't see a camera, you know, like I don't know. It's
Hello,
there's literally
Sideburns.
oh my gosh,
He's
dude.
here.
Oh my gosh, dude. But I'm being serious though. Like
Yeah.
that is important. Like getting those things done early. Like I got a camera. You know, I had to make an investment. I made an initial investment. I took out a loan.
Yeah.
I took out a loan for like almost $4,000. Bought a PC. Bought two monitors. Bought a keyboard. Bought all that stuff to get everything started. All this stuff behind you wasn't here before. You know what I mean? If you saw my initial setup, it was really crappy. It was in my living room. It was through an Xbox and a Elgato capture
Oh, you're doing
card
the
and a
capture card.
laptop.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I was terrible setup. But I was like, I needed to sit there and do something different. And actually, I made an investment. I bet on myself. But the thing is, like I said, you really got to believe that you're going to be able to. You got to understand that you got to put a lot of effort into this. That is literally like, I don't know. That's important. Oh my god.
No, I definitely feel it. And Sideburns in here doing a little troll, and I love it.
Oh
But
my gosh.
no, and I think it is important to have this set up as well. And there are guys out there that do stream from console, and that's kind of cool that they can do it. But if they don't take the time to really edit their channel, because like you said, they can put the donation button on, but they can't throw their panels on. And there's plenty of free things on there. I mean, the internet
For and
itself,
about
right?
me,
Like, yeah,
I mean, do
anything.
something more than just like, then you know what I mean. Just put something down. Like, don't just freaking, Linktree's free too as well. Like, add a Linktree, add your socials. All that stuff's like super easy to use. And there's still people that I go to that I've been doing this for 3 years that doesn't freaking do that. Like, it's the easiest thing you can do.
Yeah,
That's the first thing you should do is get all your socials in order and put the links all on them. There's people that don't do any of that that've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years. Like, come on now, dude. If you haven't figured it out by
yeah.
now and you only have like 100 followers after 2 or 3 years, it's probably time to stop. There's a guy I met recently that's been doing this for 7 years, has 240 followers.
Okay. Yeah, that's
7 years. I
it.
go to his channel and he gets upset because, like, you know, he gets upset because I tell him there's a lot of reasons why this isn't working, and part of it's your name, part of it's your games that you're playing, part of it, and then they have this idea, well, I can play any game, people are going to follow me because they're
Mm,
entertained by me. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, not when you're in the beginning. You're not
yeah.
a big person yet. You're not at that level to sit there and play just any game you want. You know what I mean? And that's it's hard for people to agree with that, but there's a little bit of truth to it.
Yeah, and no,
Yeah, exactly. You have to be entertaining.
you do have to be
And
entertaining. And one of the things that I found hard when I first started was I went to YouTube right away, and I was like, how to be a streamer. What are people saying?
yeah.
Simplest thing out there. That's the first step anyone can do. And a lot of them were like, play games with viewership from anywhere from 1,000 to like 5,000. Instead of playing those games that are on top of the charts. Do you kind of agree with that, or because I know you use
I
like
do.
Solely Gnome as well?
So I agree with it up to an extent. I think that there are games. Obviously, you want high viewership, low amount of streamers. I mean, so that means like less people streaming that specific thing, so that you get the most engagement. That does make a lot of sense. However, playing games on release, people want to meet new people on release
Yeah.
that are playing a game. That you have a potential to sit there and actually meet new people playing a brand new game. Matter of fact, yesterday I got 5 new followers just from me playing the Capcom game. What is it called? Exo Primal. I mean, it's a brand new game that just came out, and 5 people followed me just yesterday, or 6 people followed me yesterday, just because I'm playing a brand new game called Exo Primal. You mean like there's engagement? You
Yeah.
just have to play the right stuff. You have to find the games that are out that are going to sit there and get you that potential of being like seen. You know what I mean? Like you just have to figure that out. That's part of doing this.
No, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that because it's also what kind of streamer do you want to be. So you're going to lean on the games that you somewhat enjoy and whatnot. Question from Sideburns though. We'll read it here, right? So he says, "Why is Fortnite his favorite game?" Asking you.
Because I taught him how to play and I taught him how to be a good player. I have a VHS tape out there that he watched that he learned how to play on, and he needed it. You're welcome.
Oh well. Does that answer your question, Sideburns? Okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that and read.
He hates when I say that.
But no, yeah, you're definitely right. He has my stream up. That's how he's reading the chat or his thing because he rated in. It don't matter.
Yeah, I
No,
see.
he's in here. His little thing's in here.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am. Shut
you
up.
can't trick
Shut up.
me. Trying to start. I was like,
Yeah, she always does that crap. He's.
almost got
I
my
can't.
ass too.
Yes, you can. You're such a liar, dude.
So yeah, so I think it is important to figure out that niche, and yeah, I do agree that jumping on when a new game comes out, truly focus on that and try to play that because people do want to see new gameplays, and it gives you the option to be one of the first people on a new game to complete
Yeah.
something,
Well, I mean,
or
it
come
gives you
across something.
content too.
Yeah,
And not only does it gives you content, so if you want to be the first person to put out content on a specific game or something that you found while playing the game, like Starfield, if I found a planet that had something really cool on it, you know what I mean? I can
yeah,
sit there and clip it and send it in, and it might do well. You know what I mean? It might actually get people to start looking where I'm going. You mean like I mean that's like I said, that's why I like playing newer games that are just came out, because it has the potential of having that undiscovered content that can do really well for your stream.
no, yeah, I get that. Oh, okay, let's catch up on chat here for a second because going at it. Okay, there he is in there. Yep, yep. Yeah, he's been there. Sideburns. Don't make me get mod in here. Yeah, that's not gonna happen today, buddy. Not right now. But when I went in here and typed you out before getting to, uh, we let you have their fun there for that one. Today's about Millie.
yeah. Shut up, Cyburns.
Okay, though, you took the interview cherry here for the podcast. He was the first. I won't forget you, buddy. I promise.
Excuse me.
Um, so you said earlier, getting into content creation, you kind of did it for you and your kids and your family. When did you start gaming? Have you always been a gamer or?
Well, I started gaming when I was a kid, man. I started at NES, so original Nintendo, playing like Ninja Turtles, playing Tetris. I mean, like the old school games.
Yeah,
Moving from that to like Game Boy, Game Gear. I played Game Gear, Sonic Pinball. I don't know if anybody
yeah,
knows what that is. Um, but I did play Sonic Pinball on Game Gear. That was one of the first games I've ever played. Let's see. Then there was Super Nintendo. I mean, I've always been a gamer, man. I have a favorite game probably for every system: Sega Genesis to N64 to GameCube to PlayStation 2, all that stuff. I played every single. I have every single. I have all my old systems, every single one. I was thought about advertising them somehow, but then I ended up doing the whole background for this. But I have every single system you can have.
yeah. So have you ever thought about reaching back to those roots and playing some of those older games that you first started on and kind of doing some retro streams on your content?
Yeah, I mean, I play on an original chessboard. I actually know how to play chess. Nope. I actually know how to play chess. But yes, no, yeah, I pulled it out a couple times. I got a TV that literally has the old like little adapters to it and stuff. I got an older TV just to do it. You know what I mean? So I think it was is Game Gear the Switch before the wait, is
Game
Game
Gear the
Gear the
Switch
Switch
before the
before
Switch.
the Switch? Hey, that's kind of true though, sweet.
Yeah,
It's a pretty big handheld game. I actually showed everybody on stream the other day.
that's awesome. Oh, you still have it too. Oh,
Oh yeah, I still have all my systems, all of
hell
them,
yeah,
every single one. Yeah.
that's sick. Yeah, that I think that would be cool because I've noticed that right now, just through my own research, that a lot of retro games have been coming up. Even if they're newer or older style, they seem to be pretty consistent. So like Dave the Diver is a very 2D game,
Well, I
but
played
it's
Paperboy, man. I'm talking about like Paperboy on NES, dude. Like
that's old.
I don't think any of you guys know what that is, but like I played Paperboy on NES. I played some freaking old game. Bubble Bobble too. You guys don't know what that you guys don't know any of that crap, dude. You guys don't Bubble Bobble? Anybody?
Paperboy I couldn't play.
Excite Bike. Let's see. Original Mario, freaking Duck Hunt.
Oh, Duck Hunt's a
Um
classic.
dude, I played some old games, bro. I played some old. I'm an old gamer, dude. I'm
Oh,
old head gamer. Dr. Mario, I sucked at, but yeah, I like Dr. Mario as well.
that's awesome. So in your time in the service, did you ever consider starting your stream then? So for me, like I'm doing mine as active duty right now, right? Which is weird to balance the schedule. But while you were in, did it ever cross your mind to start doing this content creation stuff?
So I originally heard a song. Um, I thought about it early on. I remember hearing a song in high school, and even like I always kind of like had the song in like my playlist and stuff. And it was the song by Frankie J, the one that I told you about the other night.
Yeah,
And I don't know, for something in the beginning, I always liked that beginning part to it. And as I became, you know, when I went through the military, I thought about doing something like that when Mixer was out because I loved Mixer. I thought it was such easy user friendly platform compared to Twitch. I hated Twitch in terms of like I thought Mixer was so much easier to use, especially like when it came to Xbox. Like the
yeah.
compatibility for Mixer and Xbox was so like it was so easy to navigate. But at this point now, it's like you know, I thought about starting on Mixer and like having something like that for my stuff. I just never got around to it. And then, you know, like I said, because I started playing, you know, because I've always played video games, I'm like, you know, I really thought that just the idea of playing video games and just streaming would have been, if I'm already doing it, might as well stream. And that was my initial thought.
That's a
Now
good
it's more
way.
like a job. So
Yeah,
now it's a little different now. But I mean, I like, you know, I tell people all the time I run it like a business. I mean, it's about community, but I also run like a business. So I mean, even nonprofits are ran like a business.
yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, there's
you're right.
so
It is a business. It definitely out there because you got to market everything and you got to constantly be changing things up and you got to be on
yeah.
those charts. So I think that's a great mindset to have for being a content creator. Business first, community second. See, that can be a fine line, right? I think with that one, Lipsy, like being able to keep it in a middle ground, um, just because
Well,
you
I
want to be
actually
able to give it back.
I can honestly agree with that though, HB12. And the reason why is because if you got your business situation settled out, the community always follows after. I mean, if you could get everything in line, your community the transition between business and community really actually flows really nicely. It'll
Yeah,
flow instead of it being chaos. So like if you can get the business aspect correct, the transition to community becomes almost effortless. So I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope that like helped out a little bit what she was trying to say. That's the way I see things with her. So I mean that's why like I understand what she's saying when she's saying that. I got you,
I see what you're saying now too. I was thinking of it a little bit differently. As yeah, keep the business side of it and keep things running smoothly and operating. um, but if you're not focusing on that community as much as you're trying to keep your business running, the community may not flock to you
Yeah,
because there are a lot of successful businesses out there that have failed, even when they deliver the products they say they're going to deliver, just because it wasn't what the community wanted.
that's true. That's
So
true.
it's a fine line, is why I was saying that. But no, I definitely see where she's coming from on that. And then Nope had said, always see Millie always lays the business down on me in our meetings.
I
Didn't it?
do.
Grim, just like building a haunted house, running the business, building the sets, marketing, etc. first. Okay, the community will come next. Yeah, it's pretty fair. Okay, but yet you have streamers that update nothing. So again, that's not community basis. Yeah, no, that's very true.
Like honestly, no, you're fine, and I agree with that completely. Like I said, she has a point, and I see it that same way, because if I didn't have all, like, even just updating my website, HB12, you mean like just making it more user friendly, just doing all those things so that way you guys could sit there and get to my merch, that way you guys could sit there, like doing all that, and even just to get you guys to wear the stuff I have, that is important, you know what I mean, to make sure all that stuff flows well. Before I even put it all out, it needs to work right. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff needs to be taken care of before I even push that stuff out. Matter of fact, before my merch came out, you know what I mean, I had to buy it first. I didn't even want them to put it out until I bought it first, because I wanted to see if it was good or not. Almost like doing an inspection.
Yeah.
So when they sent it to me, my first shirts, the ones in green that they did, were garbage. They were garbage. I had to sit there. I got mad because I'm like, I'm not putting this out there to my guys to sit there. You guys need to fix this. Like I was pissed. Like I was so, yeah, Sparky, I was pretty freaking livid. I said, I am not okay with the way this came out. You guys have to fix this. This needs to get fixed today. And honestly, and now it's obviously been a learning curve for them as well, because I don't think they were expecting the streamer die shirts to do so well. You mean those are my most sold everything. Streamer die has been like the biggest thing that's been selling, but I also don't take I take like 10% profit off of everything, so I don't get a lot for it.
Oh, wow.
I just want people to wear it.
Yeah.
So I have it set up to where I don't make a lot of money, because again, I look at that as, if I can make it free, I would. But like, or free on terms of like where I don't get paid anything, I would, because I want people to wear the stuff and actually afford it as best as I can. You know what I mean? If people can afford it and wear my stuff more, I look at that as advertisement for me. So like, I want everybody to afford this stuff.
No, and I think that's a great way to see things, because you're getting that marketing, and the money will come right as you grow. So still keeping it there, like, hey, there are these options to help support the stream, and just making it easier on your community to actually get it.
Yeah.
Toga, I keep my PC on caps for my own content creating, because my content comes first, not supporting. However, those that can handle caps and their chats are the places I'll be. A streamer community that can't handle caps, I don't care if you put all caps in here. You're not raising your voice at me. Text is up to the interpretation of the reader. So if you got a problem with me, no, but caps aren't an issue in here. Go for it.
She's here to support me, so and I appreciate her following you. She's a great support system, and I think honestly, we're good. We're all good. Everybody's good.
No, yeah, I popped in her stream a couple times and watched her play some stuff and whatnot. She's pretty chill. I'm here for HB2. I appreciate that, Livesey.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So going forward here, right? So you have your own little support system. You have your own team. If you could pick any partners out there that are Twitch partners right now, who would you want to work with?
Only because I met her, probably BB Jess. Me and her talked for actually a while. She talked to me about a bunch of stuff. At DreamHack, she came up and talked to me. Regiment was there too, and they were like, "Hey, go talk to her," type thing. I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna go over there and talk to her." Like it was like, because she's probably being harassed by everybody anyways.
Yeah.
But she came over and she actually started talking to me, which is pretty cool. And we talked for a while. We talked about, Regiment came over too after I started talking to her and stuff. It was a good conversation. She would probably be the one I work with if there might be something there. I can't say too much, but there's something that I might be able to work with there. It might happen. It might, never say never, right? You know what I mean? So,
never say never.
So we'll see if that goes through.
No, yeah, she's an awesome content creator, and she blew up fairly quickly from what I saw.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember when she was just constantly like, hers was like the first stream that I had seen where the setup was bouncing around between multiple cameras, and it seemed like it was always a rave going on in her setup. And yeah, she's pretty cool. And that's awesome you got to meet her.
Yeah, she was very nice.
So getting back with that, right? So working with your team and kind of keeping these guys in the loop. Do you ever find yourself branching out more? Because it seems like you have a pretty tight circle with like Lipsy and Sparkle and Sideburns. Oh my god, I almost forgot his name. Do you ever like branch out a bit more besides just taking these interviews?
You mean in terms of bringing people in my circle?
Yeah.
It depends. It really comes down to the amount of effort you put into things. So my respect comes based on the fact that you're actually trying. And to me, I respect you more if you're actually putting in the effort and you're reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, what can I work on?" Or "Hey, like, can we have a meeting?" I actually like stuff like that. To me, when you're especially if you have less followers than me, I'm not the type of person that's going to deny having a meeting with you just because you have less followership than I do. If you say, "Hey, I would like to have a meeting with you and let's talk about some things, let's see what I can work on,"
Yeah.
dude, I am like 100% there for you. You know what I mean? And to me, if I see that effort put in, you get a certain amount of respect from me as a person, and I'll be like, "Yeah, let's work, let's try to get something going." You know what I mean? And that's why, I mean, he even Blame Grim got his own emote. You know what I mean? Like, there is a, yeah.
There's a
you know, but
circle.
but you know what I'm saying though? Like, I respect a certain amount of like work ethic. You know what I mean? Like me having it, it was weird the first time when me, Lipsy, and Cyburns kind of all got in a meeting together. It was definitely something that I never would have expected, especially when less in October of last year, I had only 600 followers. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
800 followers, something like that. That was somewhere around there. I mean, like, I never I never thought I'd be in a room where there's two people that have been doing this a lot longer than I have, and them respecting me enough to have me in there. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
to me, that was important to me. It might not be as important to them, but for me, I was like, well, that was it was a nice way to kind of like them kind of tilting their hat at me type deal. So to me, I thought that was really important.
No, yeah, I can definitely see how that makes sense because it's kind of showing that they have that mutual respect for you for the work that you've put in, and I mean they're here to support you too. That's why they're here. I
Thank you.
respect your opinions, Millie. Yeah, see, that's awesome. Um, no, that's pretty cool that you're willing to have smaller streamers approach you too, and I've seen it in your channel. I think that's awesome. Um, but kind of leaning back on all that stuff, if you had to know three things when you first started out, what are your three most valuable tips?
Presentation, entertainment, and consistency. Those are the biggest things. I mean, those kind of encompass everything. um Presentation being what your page looks like, entertainment value, how you talk to your chat, and consistency in streaming. If I knew those three things from the start, which consistency I had down, entertaining I kind of figured out along the way. um I probably should have started with presentation a little bit more, just on how I presented myself, because I was really nervous when I first started talking.
Yeah,
Interviews, really, like, I was really nervous with interviews. I was really nervous with doing anything. My first interview was, I was a nervous wreck, the entire time, and that was with Asylum Arms. Um, but it's changed a lot. Even just talking to people, it's weird just talking to people through chat, because you're like, you have a lot of different things going on in your head. You know what I mean? That you're like wondering if they're even liking what you're doing, liking what you're saying. You know what I mean? So I got over all that eventually, and you just kind of just become yourself. I was really hesitant to kind of show the goofy side of things, like me, like singing on stream and stuff like that. I never thought I'd do that, but I did it for Smug. I mean, because I love them. I love Smug and Savage. They're awesome people. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I did that for them. You know what I mean? It was kind of like one of those things that I never thought I'd do, but like, I have a goofy side to me as it is in general that only certain people see. So for me, that was like, they're just kind of seeing how I would act if I was like by myself. You know what I mean? Like with my kids. So, you know
no,
what I mean?
that's
To me,
wholesome.
there wasn't much of a difference.
Okay. No, I think that's great advice for those. And Toga, thank you for the lurk, man. I appreciate that. And the hashtag Millie Swift. I'm guessing that's from when you were streaming or singing the Taylor Swift song on Diablo. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
that's really it. All I got for the interview, man. Those are kind of the brunt end of the questions that I like to ask folks. To kind of wrap things up with it, I kind of give the floor to you if you want to give anybody some shout outs or any last, advice there.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody here, I mean, honestly, I appreciate everybody's support. And if anybody needs anything, you know what I mean? You guys all know you guys could ask me anytime, you know, obviously reach out anytime. Definitely a shout out to everybody that has helped me get this far. You know what I mean? It's pretty much everybody here. You know, a lot of like, you know, my community is great. Honestly, like I love interacting with everybody. I like, you know, saying hi to them every day. I like, you know, kind of being a part of their lives. I learn a lot about every individual. So I mean, it's nice because I never thought that that would be a part of anything I'd end up doing. You know, I almost have 400 people in my Discord now, in Discord server
Damn.
now, which is I never thought I'd ever get to that point. You know what I mean, I started with no one. You know what I mean, and just like building it up to the point where it's at, where I actually engage with these people on a daily basis. Um, uh, Asking boxer briefs. I wear boxer briefs.
I got the real question is actually, do you like candy corn on your pineapple pizza?
First of all, candy corns for serial killers. Candy corn is disgusting. And I love pineapple pizza. No,
Okay.
I will not be singing 22. Absolutely not. Duality, that's deep, man.
Uh, I
You're a
love candy
serial
corn. You
killer. Let's
guys
see.
say candy corn is kind of
Candy corn is
gross.
disgusting. Oh my gosh,
It is kind of gross.
you guys are just, I don't know what you guys are talking about. No, why would you pick the pineapple off? Candy corn is disgusting. Who eats candy corn?
Oh, I know one person. Hold on, if he's
It is so gross. How do you guys even consider that good candy?
that's the one person there.
That is like one of
Sideburns
the
love it.
worst made candies. Oh, you didn't say it? No, my favorite candy is like sour candy, sour blue raspberry, anything is like my favorite, hands
Oh.
down.
Well, now you guys know what to send him if he wants a little gift box.
First of all, I don't, I never said I love Smarties. I
see. Do with this.
I got your six.
Wait for me, Sparky. What do I have to do with a gun that doesn't do damage? What the hell?
What? I just killed myself. I just killed myself. How dare you?
I can follow side round as a bit kill.
Oh no! Oh my gosh. I was getting so mad at this game. I was getting so mad at this game.
That was it. So that was just a little something for you.
Dude, I love that. That's so awesome.
I plan to make you act. So I am gonna actually make you something else. I was actually getting a lot of your footage from Sparkle, just because you have helped me since I've come back to it, right? And that was my kind of way of showing a little bit of support.
No, I appreciate that, man. That's so cool.
So
I feel honored, man. Thank you so much for making that for me. That was really sweet of you, dude. That's so awesome. I can't wait to share it out.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it your way, man. But before then, I think it's time for a little bit of games. So what are you feeling? Are you feeling Fortnite or are you feeling Tarkov? Or are you feeling something else? We can do we can do a horror game and get some folks in here.
We can do Fortnite. We get 2 people in here for Fortnite.
Yeah, let's run it. Let me know if you need any of his Playboy centerfold. I could definitely do some cropping with that. That wouldn't be too bad.
Dude. Those pictures are hard to look at. Those pictures are so hard to look at.
Hey, if it's going in those calendars that you guys were talking about, though. HP playing Tarkov? Nah, no chance. Not today. We're doing some Fortnite, Preacher. That's what we're gonna run. Alright, I'll get your camera off you.
Oh, no worries, dude. No, that was awesome, guys. Dude, that was an awesome video. What's going on, Preacher?
Where you been, Preacher? Yeah, I was trying to keep it a bit more in the Star Wars theme itself, and I was like, there's a lot of skins on Fortnite. Yo, what up, guys? Wolf's in the house. I want to type.